Okay, let's be honest, how is it possible that so little attention is paid to youth development? Like seriously, it doesn't make sense to prioritize a player's market value over their quality. And yes, you might think that a player's market value is directly related to their quality, but many times a player's value doesn't match their quality simply because they don't get enough opportunities at their club. One of the most successful clubs in football history is FC Barcelona, whose foundations are supported by La Masia, where players like Messi, Iniesta, Xavi, and Busquets came from, reflecting that good work in youth development can bear fruit. Moreover, during crisis moments like the one Barcelona went through in 2022, the club had no choice but to rely on young talents. That's how they saw players like Gavi, Pedri, and Lamine shine. Not only did they save the team from a difficult situation, but they are now key pieces in the current squad. Here, I emphasize the importance of maintaining a strong youth system, not only when signings are going well, but also when they are tough. Because it seems that when everything is fine, clubs just prefer to spend millions on signings rather than give minutes to academy players. But when things get rough, that's when they remember the homegrown guys. Another challenge academy players face is earning a spot when they have a player ahead of them for whom the club has paid millions. It's as if the price tag is more important than talent. Let's take the example of Tchouaméni at Real Madrid. Tchouaméni is a versatile player who cost Real Madrid around 80 million euros. After Militao and Alaba got injured, Madrid had the opportunity to rely on their academy players with players like Raul Asencio, who has immense talent. However, Ancelotti chose to move Tchouaméni from his natural position as a pivot and put him as a center back to replace Militao. And after seeing Tchouaméni's poor performances in that position, Ancelotti had no choice but to bring in Raul Asencio, who showcased an incredible level of quality, even earning a call-up to the Spanish national team during the latest break. Despite being at much higher level than Tchouaméni as a centre-back, Tchouaméni remained the starter until the fans grew tired and even booed him for playing so poorly compared to Raul. This clearly shows that the club's priority is to justify expensive signings rather than focus on their squad's quality. Furthermore, something extraordinary has to actually happen for young players to get their chance, like injuries to both starters and substitutes. Here, we see the same example with Raul Asencio or Georgi Mamardashvili, a goalkeeper who came out of nowhere and, after the injuries of Valencia's two goalkeepers, made his debut with spectacular performances that secured him in the starting position, until the point that he made one of the best goalkeepers' performances in the Euro Cup, which ultimately led him to sign for Liverpool. But my point here is how hard it is to give these young players a chance. In the end, the academy always ends up being the savior in the worst moments. Clear examples, again Valencia in 2024, which after almost being relegated in 2023 with a team full of stars like Edinson Cavani, Samu Castillejo or Maxi Gomez, the following year, facing economic difficulties and unable to sign new players, had to rely on young talents. With an almost entirely new squad, where half of the squad came from the third tier of Spanish football, they came very close to securing a spot in the Conference League. And here we see how young players came with renewed energy and a desire to prove themselves, which shows in the result. Or even Chelsea, when they couldn't make signings and had to rely on Mount, Abraham, and other academy players to qualify for the Champions League, which was won next year by these young people. The funny thing is that as soon as they could, they went back to spending huge amounts on successful signings, which led them back to fight for the Conference League. I mean, come on, this is precisely what I've been saying all along. The real investment for clubs is in the youth academy. And now this is one of the biggest paradoxes of modern football. Many clubs that historically relied on their youth academies are now obsessed with big money signings. The clearest case is Manchester United. For years, the Red Devils took pride in developing talent in their academy, like with the legendary class of the 92, with Beckham, Scholes, Giggs, Neville, Butt. However, over the past decade, they have leaned more towards huge spendings on established players, such as Anthony, Maguire, Sancho, Van de Beek, and Mount. But why? Well, the pressure to win titles quickly makes many executives opt for immediate solutions rather than developing long-term talent, and again, they are fighting to avoid relegation. And then we see the opposite example with teams like Ajax, who focus heavily on their youth academy and on revaluing players to then sell them for a significant amount of money. and it's the most profitable option because, after all, these players cost almost nothing and you sell them for millions. I would really like to see your opinion in the comment section because I'm really tired of seeing very talented players who are given no opportunities at all. So please let us know what you think about this in the comment section.